What is going on, YouTube? So coming back today with my next NFL preview, and right now I am doing the Chicago Bears. So the Bears last year had a rough season, to say the least. I've mentioned it multiple times. I think this is a team that can be the most one of the most improved teams in the NFL. You know, I really think it's really underrated, some of the offseason additions they were able to make. Granted, you're still coming off a 6-10 season where you are starting with the same quarterback that's kind of giving you trouble or I wouldn't say trouble, but at least hasn't been consistent for the last 5-6 years, and actually might be longer than that at this point. Either way, starting with that guy for the first of my three key players, Jay Cutler. So Cutler actually had a pretty good season last year. Better than we're accustomed to from Jay Cutler. And that's a good thing, because this offense, in my mind, outside of maybe running back play, should only improve this year. You know, Kevin White comes back. He was a top 10 overall pick for them last year. Ended up missing the entire season to injury. And then they also have, I believe, Eddie Royal back as well. I think that's where he started his career in Chicago. This is a receiving core that can be good. I think that the combination of Alshon Jeffrey and Kevin White can be a very good one. Can be one of the better ones in the NFC if Kevin White lives up to his potential. Alshon Jeffrey already one of the better receivers in the NFL. And this is also a team, moving into my next key player, that has actually a decent amount of running back depth this year. You know, Jeremy Langford, to me, can be a very good running back in this league. I think a lot of people are already counting him out. I don't really know why. Jordan Howard is in my opinion, one of the bigger sleepers of any any backup running back this year. And then they got a few players in between with Jacquizz Rodgers and former Arizona running back Kadeem Carey, who I still think can be a decent running back, or at least a serviceable running back in this league. So my third key player, talked about him earlier, Alshon Jeffrey. I think Alshon Jeffrey and Kevin White are equally as important to this team this year, because I think the success of the Bears this year lies more in the hands of the offense than it does the defense. The offensive line is going to have to be a little bit improved. They improved a little bit last year. They pick up Cody Whitehair in the draft. I think that was one of the better picks of the draft this year. Probably the best guard available in this that was in this year's draft class. And again, getting Eddie Royal back, adding him to a wide receiving core that, like I said, already is decent between Alshon Jeffrey and Kevin White. Marquise Wilson, Deontay Thompson, two other names to watch out for on the Bears this year, just maybe a couple depth guys. They also have Mark Mariani, but mainly in the return game. Alshon Jeffrey doesn't seem like he's too happy with his situation in Chicago. That's one of the bigger storylines to watch out for this team this year. Will he still be in Chicago in 2017? There's been a whole big thing with him getting franchise tagged this offseason, and, where will he end up after this offseason? Some people I think weren't even sure he was going to come back to Chicago. So, again, just a storyline to watch out for. So, moving to my worst case scenario for the Chicago Bears, and some of these teams, there's a large difference between the worst and best case scenario, because it can be a fragile situation with a team with a lot of potential, and that's kind of the situation the Chicago Bears are in. 6-10 with the last place finish in the NFC North, kind of like last year, would be my worst case scenario for the Chicago Bears, which honestly wouldn't be terrible, because that's what they had last year. So, best case scenario. Again, large difference between the best and worst case scenario. I'd say best case scenario, they go 11-5 and they're the surprise team of the NFC. Again, it wouldn't surprise me an enormous amount, because I've said the entire offseason they made some very, very good acquisitions, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Before I get into the actual record prediction, if I don't talk about key players, I like to talk about the defensive side of the ball. And again, between the acquisitions of Danny Trevathan and Jarrell Freeman, just tremendously boosts their linebacking core. Both guys, I think, extremely underrated, and both guys also can be very good. One safety pickup to watch, or actually two safety pickups to watch out for. The one that I think is going to be better is DeAndre Houston Carson. They also picked up Deon Bush, DeAndre Hall. Watch out for him. rookie cornerback. I want to say out of Northern Iowa. Let me make sure of that right quick. Yeah. One of my personal favorites of some of the sleeper cornerbacks out of this year's draft. And, along the defensive line, Eddie Goldman should be able to lead what will be, in my opinion, a decent offensive line this year. Again, another rookie to watch out for on that defensive line, Jonathan Bullard out of Florida, one of the more versatile defensive linemen in this year's draft. So, my record prediction for the Chicago Bears, and I think they're going to end up going 8-8. Now, I think this is a Bears team that long term, who knows where they're going to go. This isn't like a young and up and coming team by any sense of the word, but this isn't like a short term success thing either. It's hard to picture where the Chicago Bears are going to be next year because a lot of this team is relying on Alshon Jeffrey to still be around, Kevin White to have a big year, Jeremy Langford or Jordan Howard to kind of take hold of that starting spot at running back and really just run with it. And then all these acquisitions on defense to actually work out. This is, like I said, a lot of factors in play here. I like the moves they made. I think they made moves in a positive sense, and I think they're going to move forward in a good direction. But again, it's hard to tell where they're going to be looking at. So, Bears fans, if nothing else, the Bears are going to keep you on your toes for the next year or two. At least it'll be exciting for you as a fan. Always have your heart pumping. Either way, that'll pretty much do it for this video. Like I said, I'll round out the NFC North today with my Detroit Lions preview later today, so keep a lookout for that. But anyway, go check out my website. Like I said, posting articles, previews, all that stuff there every single day. Link to that will be in the description below. Go give me a follow on Twitter. Andrew Miller SSC. The link to that will be in the description below. Tweet fire all the time, all day, every day, whatever. Instagram, go give me a follow there too. That would help me out a lot. So that's pretty much it. See ya.